to the playoffs here, guys. Jalen Brunson has a plus-minus of -10 in this series against the Pacers, which is the second worst by any Knicks player this series, ahead of only Mikal Bridges, who has a -20. The Knicks were a +12 with Brunson off the floor and -6 with him on it in Game 3 last night. Charles Barkley made an interesting observation about this. Take a listen.
I'm hoping this is a wake-up call for Brunson. Like, yo, man, you're going to have to get off the ball. They've had their two best spurts in this series, Game 1 and today. They've had their best while everybody's getting involved. He has to learn from that and get off the ball a little bit more.
All right, Marcus, is the Knicks play with Brunson on the court concerning?
I think the take was a little bit off, and not that he has to get off the ball. They need him to score to actually have a chance, right? Like, I think it's on the defensive side is where they actually excelled by bringing other guys in, and they started to lock down the Pacers. But to say get off the ball, that doesn't make sense. Mikal Bridges had 18 shots. Jalen Brunson had 18 shots. Cat has 17 shots. The ball was spread around. Yes, he sat on the bench a little bit longer, but the ball moves. He's the best closer in the game right now, and he's the best one-on-one player in this series, and maybe outside of Ant and SGA in the rest of the playoffs. There's no way he can get off the ball. He's going to take the right shots. He's a veteran player. He knows which shots are good, which ones that he's double-teaming he need to get off of. So I think it's more so on the defensive end, right? We have to find different ways. Tibbs have to find different ways to be able to protect them and keep the plus-minus. But I think you just overlooking it. The plus-minus is a plus-minus. It can go different ways. It might not have been with him. It might have been with a different lineup. But to say he needs to get off the ball, I think that's the wrong take.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Marcus. I think that's a bit extreme. I think that what we're looking at in terms of our complaints about Jalen Brunson is that they're targeting him defensively. You know, they're making sure they're going at him. Number one, because they know that he's limited due to his size and absence of athleticism, meaning hops and stuff like that. I think they think that he could be targeted for that one reason. And number two, by targeting him, it's a double, you know, it works in two ways. Number one, there's fatigue that could potentially settle in because you know Tom Thibodeau, for the most part, isn't going to use his bench, number one. And number two, you have the potential to get him in foul trouble. So all of those things serve Indiana well. In Indiana's ideal world, I mean, they would have been hitting shots and what have you. But what happened with Jalen Brunson last night, that's exactly what you want to happen, where he's sitting on the bench for the most part because he was in foul trouble. So they got what they wanted in terms of that. What I will say that Charles Barkley, to allude to what he was saying, although I don't totally agree with him, I get where he's coming from this standpoint. You guys know this. If you're playing with a guy that can be a ball hog, it also compromises you capturing a rhythm. And when you've got a Bridges, when you've got an Anunoby, if you've got guys that you know, or Josh Hart to a lesser degree, that want to get their shots, they ain't looking to throw up 25, 30 shots a game, but you certainly want their activity. You got to feed them too. And it can't be about you holding the ball so often that they stand around being spectators. And that's what you have to watch out for if you're Jalen Brunson. You might be the best option. There's no question about that. And Karl-Anthony Towns might be that bona fide number two. The other side to it, however, is making sure that the other guys get touches just in case the game wanes and you need them to get touches. And when they touch the basketball, it doesn't feel like a foreign object to them because they haven't been getting the basketball. You got to find a way to feed them too while still making sure you maintain your rhythm.
Right. With Charles, I'm not sure. Like I'm more so on Marcus' side. I'm not really sure if that made too much sense in this aspect because obviously Jalen Brunson can score the ball from all over the floor, and you need him to score the ball. But when you look at their team, other than the starting five, well, really other than Anunoby, Mikal, and Carl, and then you might have Bridges off the bench. Who else is he passing the ball to? There's nobody else to pass the ball. You have both guys shoot 18 shots with Mikal and Karl-Anthony Towns. Anunoby played a very efficient game, but who else is he passing the ball to? He's been doing this all game. Now I think that once you see how Indiana is playing, you want him to pass the ball because of how good they pass the ball, how much of a team they play. But this is not their identity. Their identity is give Jalen Brunson the ball, give Cat the ball, you guys move out the way, and we're going to run you up and down the court.
Stephen A.
I
Oh,
agree.
yeah, I have another question. I want to come back to you on Keefe if you're good on this one, Stephen A.
Sure.
Do you feel like it was a mistake to start Mitchell Robinson? Yeah.
I don't. When you look at the first 3 games, they were all close games. Did it make sense? Did a change need to be made based on the games? Obviously, you wanted to start, I would say, slower or more defensive-minded because with Mitch Robinson out there, he's only a live threat. But also what he does, he slows down the offense for in New York to be able to keep up with the pace of the Pacers. Guys in the first quarter could not get in the lane. Mitch Robinson was in a lot of bad spots yesterday to start the game off. Cat couldn't get it going because he couldn't play from the top of the key. All he could do was shoot threes. He couldn't really drive the floor. Mitch Robinson wasn't in the right spots for him to make those plays. Also with Brunson, but if you look at the game, after Mitchell Robinson played that first full quarter, he was done. They gassed him out. He hasn't done that all year. So no, I don't think it was a great adjustment. I mean, it was something different, and it worked because you won. But if the fourth quarter and Cat don't go like that, if Cat don't take over like that, it's just another adjustment. Doesn't really affect the game at all.
Marcus?
I agree. I can't. We talked about this watching the game. I was like, why? I didn't understand. I thought, they said, on when we was gonna get up that Josh Hart went to Tibbs and was like, Tibbs, I think you should make this adjustment. But like you said, it slowed Cat down. Like I felt like Cat was not able to get off to a good start because he hasn't played with Mitchell Robinson. Like these are moves where you kind of try to calculate it like being a defensive team. That's not the Knicks' identity. Like don't try to switch it because you feel like you have to do something now. Like it's like one of those things. It's like you have to do, right?
Especially with the games being close.
It was close games. The first game you had one. The second game you were in that game the entire time. It took a run late by the Pacers to win that game. So I didn't agree with it. I mean, obviously you end up winning just with the subs in general. Like we giving Tom Thibodeau credit. I don't think this was a thing where he deserved credit. And they end up winning the game. So it's like, okay, yes, he did a great switch, right? But I just didn't agree with that. Offensively, it didn't help the Knicks not one bit. It actually slowed them down.
S.A., did you like the move?
Well, what I didn't mind it. I was a bit curious about it, and I don't disagree with my boys here, but I gotta throw this. I mean, y'all are showing y'all Philly roots here just a little bit, as opposed to the New York roots. Because see, when you in New York, right? You just happy to see Tom Thibodeau make a change. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like somebody that wear the same damn outfit all the time. You're like this. Damn, I appreciate you putting on something different. It really, really is. I needed to see you in a different outfit. So this is what I'm looking for from Tom Thibodeau, right? So I mean, beggars can't be choosy. I'm happy about that. But let me throw something by the both of y'all that I'm really, really curious to see how y'all think about this. I thought Mitchell Robinson being in the game. First of all, I'm worried about Cat to begin with because you benched him in game 2. So I know he's going to come out. He's frustrated, and I don't know what kind of game he's going to give me. Now you've thrown in the change where he's starting alongside Mitchell Robinson instead of being at that 5. As a result, you're looking at Mitchell Robinson, who, by the way, has appeared quick of foot, meaning that he can get out to the perimeter and guard quicker than I thought he could, right? But in the same breath, I'm looking at Karl Anthony Towns. Doesn't that expose him? Because if you got the big boy clog in the middle at times, you know what? You don't have to worry about doing that. So you can't lag. Now you don't have any excuse to get out there. And you're not that quick of foot with your size 21 feet. And you out on the perimeter trying to guard. I think that contributed to some of Karl Anthony Towns' foul trouble. I'm just saying that's how I viewed it. I could be wrong. I didn't mind it. Probably because of the outcome, but I also didn't think it was necessary. But then you look at the way Josh Hart played, and how that brother was a man when it counted in terms of rebounds. He was crashing the boards, that Energizer Bunny that he is. We were looking for that in the first 2 games. We didn't see it. So the fact that we saw it last night, I'm looking at it as a positive because it ignited him, and he still ended up getting 34 minutes in the game, which is about his average. So I really didn't mind, but it was curious. I'll concede that.
All right.
Offensively, I wasn't a fan of it. I like to see Cat get off to great starts, and without that fourth quarter, they would have been calling for Cat to be out of New York. Like, and I don't think that would have been his fault. I think that was a coaching fault. You put this guy in his way, and now he can't even be aggressive like he want to be. Get into the paint.
Yeah, but 4 points in 3 quarters?
But
you still feel that way at 4 points in 3 quarters?
He had 6 attempts. So you think they put Siakam on him. So now he took away the trail 3 and being able to drive because he had a guard. And then when he driving, he had Mitch Robinson. I mean, he had the other big from Indiana in the paint.
Right.
In the paint. So it slowed him down.
Based off of the Knicks playoffs run so far, I think it's not more so about who starts, it's who finish. They've had 3 games where they came back from down 20. So it's all about the finish with the Knicks, I think. You know, they lost the game and they was up 14 with 3. So it's not really too much on who start because even though they played all those guys all those minutes, they're not wheezing in the back towards the fourth quarter. Right.
But Molly?
They're picking it up.
Yeah, final
Molly,
word,
Keith?
Yeah.
Keith, Marcus, I will say this to you. I'm not disagreeing with y'all. Y'all would know better than me. But here's what I would say to you. That mentality is not about who starts and who finishes. I've always said this. That's absolutely true, theoretically. But practically speaking, you're absolutely right, but it depends on the player's mentality. If it's about who finishes, that's how you should think. But you have some cats that, not start. You remember, I covered Allen Iverson. All them years in Philadelphia. And then when he went to Detroit, y'all know that story just as well as I do. The issue with him not starting, because they wanted Rip Hamilton to potentially come up here. Rip was like, hell no, I'm a champion. I want a championship here. I'll be damned if I'm ever going to the bench. That kind of thing. Being in Memphis, not start, that kind of thing. Denver, same situation. It's all about the mentality. As long as you have the right mentality, that applies. But if you're a different kind of player and you don't feel that way, we're starting as everything, that could disrupt the locker room.
Yeah, but got to finish the job, too. Stephen A., always be closing. You ever heard of that?
Iverson.
Mariano Rivera?
Always be closing.
Say, all warmed up and ready to go. In Saturday's 143-101 Game 3 win, in which the 6-seeded Wolves announced their arrival to the series, Anthony Edwards outplayed SGA and the entire Thunder team for a stretch. The Timberwolves' 42-point win in Game 3 was the second largest postseason win in franchise history. Anthony Edwards led the Timberwolves in points, rebounds, and assists in Game 3, the third game of his playoff career that he's led or co-led the team in those categories. All right, Essie, here's what I want to know from you. What was the biggest message you took from the Timberwolves' dominant win?
That they can win this series. That they can come back and they can force a Game 7 and win this series. Fellas, listen, man, I'm an honest dude. Listen, I'm loved by some, hated by others. I don't give a damn either way. I'm good. But I got to tell y'all something. The one thing that I am is I try to be honest. I ain't no damn liar. Fellas, I walked into this series. Let me see the Twins. I got to see both of them because, damn it, I look like a hypocrite. I got to call myself out. Fellas, I walked into this series saying, yo, this is going to go 7 games. This is me fantasizing. I like competition. When you cover the league, I travel all over the damn place. You want to see no damn blowout? Man, I'm in Oklahoma City. I'm in Minneapolis. You don't think I got better things to do with my time? I don't want to be in these cities. No disrespect to the cities, but I got better things to do. But it's the players. You got to do it, right? So I'm traveling, and I'm going like this. I want to see a competition. I want to see an epic matchup. So I'm fantasizing. It's going to go back and forth, and it's going to come down to a Game 7, and the ball's going to be in Shea's hand 1 minute. It's going to be in Ant-Man's another. We going to find out. I'm thinking it's a 7-game series. After the first 2 games, I said, oh, my God. Minnesota about to get swept because I'm looking at a Nas Reed. I'm looking at a Julius Randle. I'm looking at a Jaden McDaniels. I'm looking at these guys and I'm saying they cannot put the ball on the floor and pull up. They were last in the postseason of all the teams, 32% on pull-ups. And I'm like, OKC is chasing them off the three-point line. They making them put the ball on the floor, and then they like a bunch of piranhas, 6 hands around every time somebody put the damn ball on the floor. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. What the hell has happened? Minnesota is gonna get swept. So I go into Game 3, right on the court in Minnesota. I'm like, they about to get swept. They might lose this game. And they just blew them out the damn building. I go into the locker room afterwards. Ant-Man stopped talking to the media, just walking up to me. Come on now. I heard you. Come on now. You come on, Steve. I was like, I'm sorry. So now here we are. Game 4 is tonight. We gonna find out. But I'm looking at Julius Randle, by the way, he got his little kid sitting up there. Yo, fellas, the brother had on better shades than mine. I mean, the brother was looking, little kid, looking smooth as hell. Looking smooth as hell. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Julius Randle, I looked at him. Nas Reed dribbling the ball, doing spin moves and hooks. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? If that team shows up, they win the night. They win the night, it's going 7. They lose tonight, it's over Wednesday night. That's the best I can say because, Molly, I got to tell you, I didn't know what Minnesota Timberwolves I was looking at. Suddenly, they could dribble the basketball. Suddenly, they could hit a pull-up jump shot. I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it.
They call it a game of swing.
I don't know who the hell's going to show up, but that's where I'm at.
No, absolutely. Marcus?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, fellas.
I got to say this. Knowing Finchy, the ride back from OKC and being in that locker room, he had to go crazy. Like, these were total different teams than I've seen. The reason why I even took Minnesota, Finch, Chris Finch. Chris Finch, the coach.
Gotcha.
Knowing Finch and sorry, I called him Finch. I played, was one of my coaches in Houston. Good friend of mine. Knowing him and like how real he is, I know he lit a fire under them guys. Like I know for a fact that he had to go right to Ant-Man and say, this is not the same guy I've seen in those previous games. I even said that when I picked Minnesota, the reason why I picked Minnesota is because of how tough, how physical, how they were approaching these games. When I seen them against the Lakers, and I even said this online, Ant-Man was two-hand pushing LeBron James, two-hand pushing him from walking down the court. I've never seen that, but it showed the fire, it showed how much he wanted to win. Those first 2 games in OKC, I didn't see any physicality, and I didn't think that they can even play with OKC if they don't talk, if they don't push them to the ground, if they don't foul them hard. I've seen a couple guys helping guys up. I was just very confused at how this was supposed to be played. The Timberwolves used the trash talking, the physical play to get over. The game we seen in Minnesota, they went back to that, right? And also what they did was he had to tell the bench that they had to be more consistent. The bench were just firing up shots. Dante DiVincenzo was firing up shots. Neil Alexander was firing up shots. Nas Reed wasn't aggressive. He was shooting a lot of threes. And I said to myself, these guys got to be more efficient. Like, they got to take better shots. And also give Finch credit. The one-on-ones that they had in that past game in Minnesota, they didn't have those same looks in OKC. So what he did was watch the team and watch how physical and watch how much that OKC was in those passing lanes and those driving lanes and moved them to the other side and gave Randle more space to operate, gave Ant-Man more space to operate. And Ant-Man had this look that I was waiting to see. I was waiting for Ant-Man to have that look that we've seen throughout these playoffs and that we've seen last year. And when I seen that, I said, Minnesota got a chance to get this series back to even and go back to OKC.
Right. The thing that I've seen the most is in the Western Conference, the home court advantage is real. We praise OKC about how great their defense was the entire season, the entire playoffs. They got 143 hung up on them. 143 in the playoffs. Shea, in the first half, he had between buckets, it was 13 minutes between 2 buckets that he had the first half. Not only did Minnesota come in and play their game, they came and punched them in the mouth.
Right. Every time we've gone, in covering this Western Conference Finals, because it's ESPN's game, and we out here for that. In covering this Western Conference Finals, there's a guy that's out there. Every time we go out there, he's out there alone, pretty much before anybody else. Rookie, Terrence Shannon Jr. This brother came off the bench for Minnesota, okay? And Alex Rodriguez, credit to him, new owner with him and Mark Lloyd for the Minnesota Timberwolves, was telling me before the game, you see that kid right there, pointing right at him. He said, that's the future, Stephen A. That's one of our future assets. That brother is bright. He comes off the bench, he scores 9 points in 4 minutes. He's aggressive, he's looking for a shot, he's attacking the basket, but most importantly, his athleticism matched what OKC had been throwing at Minnesota in games 1 and 2. In games 1 and 2, particularly after game 2, I saw a frustration in Ant-Man. What was it? He was the lone person who could put the ball on the floor and attack. OKC knew that, and they viewed everybody else as spot-up shooters. Shannon comes into that game, changes all of that, and feeds the rest of the cats and inspires them to be just as aggressive as he was, which helped Ant-Man. Ant-Man set the tone, but Shannon followed.
20 seconds.
It can get very interesting, but tonight is going to tell us the whole story. Tonight is going to tell us the whole story.
Yeah.
Biggest part you said right there, S.A., Ant-Man set the tone. He has to set the tone, rather if it's physical, rather it's getting to the basket. He had 2 dunks last game, and they said something about that was his first 2 dunks of the series, and I was just very confused. But he has to set the tone.
Absolutely.
NBA,